sisters. Minister was up here speaking, talking about do I have experience. I have known Minister Vernon well since he was 18 years old, so yes, I have lots of experience. What can I say? My daughter, Kataya, she's outstanding, she's wonderful. Thank you. Who I call my other daughter, even though she's like me, she calls Aunt Carell, that's Jendaya. But I have been a foster parent for 5 mothers with their children. The youngest one I had, amazing, she was 12 years old, she had a 2-year-old.
Wow.
So I did that because I was a young mother and I was single. So I said if I could ever give back to these young sisters, I would do that. And I had 5 foster mothers with their children, and I still have 2 that I'm very much in touch with. They've gone on to college, and they've had more children. They come by Thanksgiving, Christmas, the whole lot. So we're still family. So that's a wonderful experience for me to have. Let me put on my glasses so I can see. You get past 21, you need those reading glasses, right? Okay, so I don't have a podium, so y'all have to forgive me. I'm gonna have to use this table here. No slight to the fathers, but if motherhood was easy, fathers could do it too, right? It's not easy being a mother, is it? And they say it's one of the most rewarding things in the world that you could do. That's not true. You can be a mother, you can be a sister, you can be a friend, you can be all those things. But yes, motherhood is something that I cherish, I adore, and I try to do the best I can with what I have, because they don't come with a manual. They don't come with no instructions, no manual, and you hope and pray, at least for the first one, which is that's the test baby. You hope that they come out all right, and with success. Success as a parent is maybe not having your child go to jail, graduate from high school, graduate from college, go on to do different things. I try to give my kids the experiences, world experiences. If they can travel, then that's fine. They've done things that I've never done. And that's a good thing for them, because you know what? It's their time now. It's not my time now. It's their time. And I owe that to them. That's a responsibility that I have to them. So, let me tell you a funny story. This just happened, when was this, Kataya? This happened Thursday. So I said to Kataya, because I went to go visit a friend of mine who's in a nursing home. I hadn't seen him in quite some time. And he's been in this nursing home for 3 years. And I felt really bad that I didn't even know he was in a nursing home. So I went to go visit him. And I said to Kataya, the service that they give you in a nursing home is not 5-star. Let's get that straight. It really isn't. And he's suffering some. So I said to Kataya, came home, I said, so you're going to take care of me when I get older, right? She said, oh, sure. Yeah, I'm going to take care of you. I said, oh, that's great. She said, yeah, you can live in my guest house. I said, your guest house? I said, so you going to have me a private nurse or something? Somebody take care of me? Oh, yeah, I'll have somebody to take care of you.
I didn't say it like
okay, somebody. So I said, well, am I allowed to come to the main house? Oh, yeah, sure, you can come to the main house. I said, so why are you putting me in the guest house? Oh, well, because I figured you might want to have your own space. So she figured I want my own space. That's why I'm in the guest house. Well, you know what? Be thankful for small things, because at least I'm on the property, right?
That's right.
She did put me in the guest house with the property. So anyway, who are we? What are mothers? Mothers are the nurturers. We're the ones who we first get introduced to the child through the womb. So when we think about that, like Barbara Sweet said, I think we're the first ones that they meet, children. And without us, guess what? There would be no you. Because science has already proven that the first human on the planet was a woman, was it not?
That's right.
So if that was the first human on the planet, and I like to say, if you read the Bible, okay, and it says that God made us in her own image. It says his, but if it's his own image, then why was the woman the first one on the planet? Some of y'all catch that when you don't.
Think about it.
But anyway,
Yeah,
I know, think about that. So I think about the responsibilities of a mother. You have to take care of your children. That's why they're here. Okay, they're not the remote controls, even though I was the remote control when I was younger. My mother would say, stand over there, do the antenna, the whole nine. Y'all know what I'm talking about, some of y'all.
Yeah.
Hold that antenna, what was it, the hanger, that wire hanger, turn that channel, whatever. But you have to nurture your children. You have to be there for them. You have to be present. You have to be aware. and of their surroundings and everything. You have to have respect for your children. You have to teach respect, and vice versa. They have to respect you. You know, you're not going to live in my house and not respect me. You may not like me. You may not like what I do at times, but guess what? You are going to respect me, regardless. That's right. So how do you raise a successful child? Well, success, like I said, can mean different things to different people. Graduating high school, hell, graduating junior high school at this point. You know, just doing all kinds of different things, not being a criminal, whatever, not having 10 kids out of wedlock. I remember, listen, you don't want the truth from me, don't ask me to speak, okay? But, you know, I remember when I was a social worker for ACS, now called ACS, BCW, Johannesburg, but anyway, when I was a social worker there, I met this woman who was my same age, and she had 11 kids. And I was like, how do you do that? You know, and there were about 8 different fathers involved. That's deep. That's deep. So, you know, our job was to, of course, counsel and, you know, try to get them help and the whole nine. You know, and it's hard when you have 11 children, but they expect you to take care of those kids, I know. They expect you to do that. And we've seen some other things, and I try to teach my daughter, don't do that. You know, I mean, you have a child, another child, okay, fine, but 11 is ridiculous. You know, nobody can afford to, in this day and age, take care of 11 children properly. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. So you have to learn to discipline your children. Some people don't believe in discipline. No, let them just go ahead and be themselves. Oh yeah, how are they going to be themselves if they don't know what themselves are, how to be? So you have to teach them discipline, okay? So, and that doesn't necessarily mean beating your kids. Yes, I believe in spanking, and she has gotten spanked, okay? I believe in spankings, but you don't have to beat your child into submission in order for them to listen. You know, most of the time you can give them that look, and y'all know what I'm talking about, the stink eye, okay? You'll know your mother sometimes give you all that eye, you know you better not, there's something that you just better not do, okay? So I do that too. Chores. Kids need chores. Kids want discipline, they need discipline. They need chores because how are they supposed to learn how to be adults and take care of themselves if you don't teach them how to be responsible and do chores?
That's right.
But that doesn't mean that that child is your maid. Okay, that doesn't mean that they do all the work in the home and outside the home and you do nothing. Because if they're going to do it properly, they need to learn from you how to do it properly. Okay, so dinner. Now I know a lot of us, you know, it's modern times and now people would go off to their different rooms or whatever and take their plates and eat their dinner or whatever. You know, that happened to us, but I said, you know, we got to bring it back to the table. Because that's where you have your discussion. Well, how was your day? When I pick her up from the subway, I said, well, how was your day? She says, how was your day? And we share each other's days, how that was. But dinner time is very important. Because when you're eating over a meal, you know, you're saying your grace or whatever. And grace is important, okay? So you're saying your grace and you know, just doing different things. But that's important. That's an important time to bond with your child, okay? Another thing, even though I know I have 2 girl children, and they should have been boys, because God knows boys are easier, I think. But when you have girl children, you know, you have to teach them certain things, how to be ladies, okay? Now, I wasn't the most feminine growing up. I was a tomboy, okay? I could get underneath the hood of a car in a heartbeat, change my oil, tune up, change my flat tires, you know, whatever. That's me. That girl over there, that's not going to happen. Okay, it's just not going to happen. But I could do that with the best of the guys. My growing up years in Brownsville, yay, was hanging out with my nephews and my brothers, you know, and we were doing things like playing handball, playing flag football, you know, different things like that. But I just love to do those things, you know. But when it came to being a girl, now look, I could be, you know, demure and you know, in a heartbeat too. Okay, I can wear a skirt just like the rest of them, but at the same time, I don't want a man to think that I am dependent on him or that I really, you know, it's not that I'm not dependent on him. All of us need men. Don't get me wrong. But the point is, I don't want him to think that this is all there is. I just need you to do everything. No, I'm your partner. I don't want to walk behind you. I don't want to walk in front of you. Guess what? I'm your partner, so we need to be side by side. And they need to understand that. So my thing is, if you don't accept me as I am now, guess what? Hello. You know, like I tell my daughter, you know, like if somebody treats you wrong, you know, you're out on a date or something, and the guy starts being stupid, what's your first word? Taxi, okay? And get out of there, because you don't know what's going to happen. But that's sometimes what you have to do. Approachability. You have to learn to be approachable. My daughter told me sometimes I'm not approachable. Why, I don't know. I think I'm the fun parent, but she said I'm not the fun parent. But anyway, you got to be approachable. You have to be able to have your child come to you and tell you anything. Because guess what? And I've told her, I don't care what you tell those people out in the street, but when you come to me, you be straight with me. Because if anybody's going to have your back, guess who it's going to be? It's going to be me. All right? I'm not saying it's not going to be your dad, but it's going to be me. Like I said, I don't care what you tell them. You know what? If you're going to tell a big old fat lie, I'm going to lie with you. Okay? As long as you're straight with me, I'll be straight with you. And that's the bottom line.
That's it.
Honesty and forgiveness. You got to be honest with your kids. Okay? They ask you a question. I know Katana used to ask me questions, especially when she was younger. You don't want to hear from a 4-year-old, well, what's a prostitute? What are you supposed to say? Okay. You can't start stuttering and everything, because guess what? She would go on the computer and find out for herself. I was like, wow, okay, so she went and looked this up. You have to be honest with your children. If you're not, somebody else is going to be.
That's right.
And let them know that they are the most important thing to you and the most important thing on this planet, okay? Because somebody's going to come along and tell them how beautiful they are and sell them a dream and sell them a song or whatever, and guess what's going to happen? Okay, I don't need to tell you. But anyway, favorability. I have 2 kids. I don't favor either one of them over the other, but then they're a whole lot of years apart too. But the point is, you can't love one child more than you love another. You can't make it even look like this is your favorite child over the other. You can't do that. You just can't do that. They're your children. They all came from your womb. They should all be treated equally and the same. And that's something that we just have to remember. And your son, ladies, is not your man. He's not your man, okay? He's your son, all right? If he has a dad, thank God. If he doesn't, you find a man that can be a role model and a mentor for that young man.
Teach up.
It's important for these young brothers to have a positive, I don't mean just anybody, a positive role model. It's just very important. And it's also important that daughters have their fathers. And if they don't have you got to find a man that's going to be honest with them and that's going to teach them different things, Because y'all got this man manual that we don't know nothing about, And we can teach them how to be women, how to be ladies and all that stuff and how to take care of themselves. But when it comes to that men stuff, we can't teach them that because we don't have that book, okay? Sisters, do not use your kids as weapons. They're not weapons. I'm going to, say it to the father, I'm not going to let you see your kids if you don't blah, blah, blah. No. That is that man's child.
Right.
And he should have just as much access as you, provided he's given the right kind of counsel. Okay, if he's just in your body, no. Beware and be aware of who you have your children around. And if you're single and you're dating, be aware and beware again of who you have your children around. Don't leave your girl children, or heck, for your boy children, for alone with some man. You don't know who this person is. It could be a serial killer or whatever. You have no idea who this person is. So you have to get to know somebody before you start bringing your kids around, some strange man. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And sometimes strange women. When the child becomes the parent becomes the child. Just like my daughter says she's going to get me someplace on her property. I'm appreciative of that, But there's going to come a time, maybe not, when you're going to get older and you're going to need that help from your children. That's why we have kids to take care of us when we get older. And guess what? We won't give them the same treatment that they gave us, right? But, there's going to come a point in time where they're going to have to take care of you and need to take care of you. So you have to remember that as you're raising them and as you're nurturing them, okay, to be loving, because when that time comes, you want them to be loving to you. Do you not?
Yes.
All right. So rewards and punishment, consistency. Like I said, I believe in spanking. I don't believe in beating. But once they get to a certain age, you either got to duke it out with them, show who's boss, or, you say, okay, I'm going to take away some rewards, and this is going to be the punishment. You got to be consistent. You can't just punish and then, for a week. You're not going to have your phone for a week. And then 2 days later, okay, here's your phone. No. You have to be consistent with your behavior as well as their behavior. Because there's consequences to your actions. No matter what your actions are, there are consequences to your actions. And don't be afraid to let your child grow. One of these days, they're going to be by themselves. They're going to need to learn to be independent. They're going to have to learn how to do laundry. And I'm talking about both sexes. Do laundry, cook, clean, whatever it is. They're going to have to, exactly, they're going to have to learn how to do all these things because you're not going to be around all the time, okay? Independence. Again, if they don't know how to do all of these things, you know, they're going to be dependent on somebody. They're going to go from their mother's house to somebody else who's going to mistreat them. Okay, so they need to learn how to be independent. Don't be afraid to ask your children their opinions. Boy, don't be afraid because they can give it to you, okay? But ask their opinions. It's important because they have something to say also. They really do. And we'd be surprised at how resilient and what kind of opinions these kids can have. So don't be afraid to ask them for their opinion. Also, be a parent. Be a friend, but be a parent. I tell my daughter, I'm your mother first. I'm your best friend, but I'm your mother first. And understand that. Because there are things that I'm going to do. You may not like it. You may want to throw hot grits on me. I don't care at one point in time. Like I said, you may not like me. You may not like what I do at times, but you're going to respect me. And guess what? When you leave the house, it's like when you get older, the older you get, the smarter your parents get. And you'll remember that when you get to be, you know, when your daughter gets to be older. Don't be a helicopter parent. Don't hover and just, you know, just be totally involved in their lives. You have to be involved. I need to know who you're hanging out with. I need to know who your friends are. And if you're asking me if you can have a sleepover or something, I need to know who these parents are. Because I've been to kids' houses where they've had parties and they drop off their kids, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't know who these people are. I'm here for this for a couple hours. I don't know who you are. I'm going to sit there. There was a couple of times I've sat in the house for the whole party because I just didn't know who these people were. You know, just met them. These other people, you can drop off your kids if you want to. I'm not doing that. You know, so understand that. If your child comes to my house, guess what? It's my house. Right. My house, my rules. Right. If they're undisciplined, guess what they become at that point? Disciplined. Because they're my children. You're in my aura, you are my child. And I don't care if you're there or not. You're in my house, my rules, whatever. Okay, because I've been known to tell, you know, kids to say, well, I'm going to tell my dad. So go ahead and tell him. Go ahead and tell him. And you know what? He can either abide by my rules in my house or he can take you home. One or the other. Okay, so don't be afraid to be a parent to somebody else's child. Because it does take a village. Now, we coined that phrase. I don't care what Hillary says. We coined that phrase. Okay? Okay, so even though it's hard being a mother, like Tara said, it can be one of the most rewarding jobs, and it is a job. God knows it's a job. You know, you mothers and even you fathers who are very involved, you know what I'm talking about. It's a job, you know, and it's something that you have to work on. You have to nurture the relationship. You have to do all of these things as a parent, but especially as a mother, because again, the first thing that they're going to do is come to their mother. You know, who does the teacher call if the child acts up in school? The mother. You know, who does anybody call? They say, well, I'm going to tell your mother. I'm going to call your mother. You know, my thing was when I was growing up, my mother was a single parent. I'd be like, don't call my mother, please call my father. You know, because I knew my father wasn't going to do much because, you know, I keep telling my daughter, you ain't doing this thing right because I had my father like this. Okay? You ain't doing this thing right because if you do it right, whatever you ask can be yours. Okay, so you need to learn as a girl child, wrap that man around your finger because I'm telling you, you can have anything you want, but you got to learn who that person is. Okay, so when they grow up, they never stop. You know, I told my daughter today, and I know a friend of mine says, well, I wish they get off the titty. You know, because they always going to be there. Always, okay? It's like, they always going to be in your pocket. Always. I don't care if they're 50, 60 years old, they're going to be in your pocket. They're going to want something, do something, or whatever. They're going to call you, all right? Know that. They will never get off the breast, okay? Never, ever. Trust me, all right? I'm ready to end this because I know that, you know, it's a long time. And Tara gave me a condensed kind of time period. So I said, okay, I'll try to follow that. But I just want to tell you this joke I heard one time. There was this funeral, and you know, they had all these flowers at this funeral, everything. They were lovely and blah, blah, blah. You know, of course, the dead person is in the casket. And this woman comes in, this older woman comes in, and she has this big old pot of soup. And she takes this big old pot of soup, and she lays it on the casket. So, of course, people gonna look at her strange, they were looking at her strange, well, why'd you bring this suit? The person said to her, she says, well, look, if they can smell those flowers, then they can eat that soup. Smell your flowers, eat your soup while you're still here. Appreciate your mother, appreciate your children, and just do the best that you can. Ashe.
Ashe.